of the Senate Transportation Housing Committee. And I wanted to ask, first of all, to have everybody turn their cell phones off and don't talk in the room here. If you want to talk, go outside. I also want to announce that Senate Resolution 69 has been pulled at the request of the offer. That will not be heard today. 69, number 6, and that is number 21 by Senator Galgiani. That has been pulled off. And because of our heavy bill load today, we have really a lot of items. We are limiting, I want to ask that we limit the witnesses to 2 per side with 2 minutes each for your comments. And we'd like additional witnesses after that to make their statement limited to stating their name, organization, and position on the legislation before us, so we can have an expedited meeting. We have 4 items on consent. That's item 17, Senator Hueso's bill. It's SB 1399. Item 19, this is SB 1429, Senator Nielsen. Item 22, SCR 102, Senator Nguyen. And item 23, Senate Constitutional Resolution 111, Concurrent Resolution 111 by Senator Mendoza. Those items are on our consent. Those 4 items are on consent calendar. When we reach a quorum, we'll call for those votes. And see, we'll call. We have Senator Vidak here ready to present.
Yes, sir.
Senator Vidak, we don't have a quorum, but I invite you to present your bill, and you have the floor. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
This is item 2, SB 940. Senator Vidak, you have the floor.
Thank you. Mr. Chair and members, nearly 1,300 properties have been identified by the High-Speed Rail Authority as necessary to complete the 120-mile route from Madera to Bakersfield. While these properties have been identified to complete the current alignment, there was always a possibility that the route may change or that the project is never completed, leaving the state holding on to properties it no longer needs. Current law allows the authority to sell off land that it deems not necessary, but previous landowners are not notified that the land is going to be sold. SB 940 requires the High-Speed Rail Authority to notify the previous landowner if the land is going to be sold, and requires the authority to wait 30 days after sending the notification before selling the property. I want to thank the committee staff for working with my office on this bill, and that's it.
Okay, Senator. Speakers in favor? Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Michael Corbett on behalf of the Kings County Board of Supervisors. First of all, I apologize that there's not a letter in reflecting continued support for the bill after the amendments, but the Board of Supervisors continue to support the bill. We think it provides an opportunity to former landowners to reacquire land that they had taken from them pursuant to eminent domain. We think it's a fair and equitable approach to reconnecting people with land that they may have been connected with for generations. And in the Central Valley, there's a particular affinity between landowners and the land that goes back for generations, and in many cases reflects a situation where someone has moved to the United States, and this is the first opportunity they have had to acquire land and, in effect, a piece of America.
Okay, thank you. We have other speakers in favor, please. How about speakers opposed? Anybody opposed or have concerns? Questions from committee? Anybody have questions? Senator Vidak, we don't have a quorum right now. When we establish a quorum, I'll recommend I vote on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I request an vote.
Thank you. We have Senator Berryhill is present, and now he's down on the list here, but item 14, SB 1345, and so we're going to jump ahead, but I want to tell everybody that's not here, Senator Berryhill, with his experience, has come early, so therefore he gets to present his bill early. So the on-time caucus wins in this case. Senator, you have the floor.
Early birds.
Early bird catches the worm.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Mr. Chairman, for our meeting this morning and the opportunity to show this bill a little bit early. I do have a soccer match and a award ceremony for my daughter this afternoon, and this allows me to be there, and I really do appreciate it. But this bill, 1345, is a 3-year extension to a pilot project created in 2011. I believe if extended, this project will create a well-thought-out OHV roadmap that would include the signage and enforcement needed to establish a coherent network of trails for residents and visitors to California's outdoors. The goals of the pilot project are to preserve traffic safety, improve natural resource protection, reduce off-highway vehicle trespass in private land, and minimize impacts on county residents. In 2011, AB 628, by then Assembly Member Connie Conway, established a 5-year pilot program that allowed Inyo County to designate specific county streets and roads as a combined use routes for off-highway use vehicles. We are seeking today an extension to AB 628 because the thorough environmental review and public input segments of the process took up the bulk of the 5 years timeframe. As a result, less than 6 months of data has been collected since the opening of the 3 combined use routes currently authorized under the program. AB 1345 would continue this pilot program for just an additional 3 years in Inyo County and add a 3-year project to Sierra County. We believe this will allow for a more thorough evaluation of Adventure Trails program. Neither this bill nor the existing pilot program creates a single new trail or road. What it does do is create better network of trials and, more importantly, a legal and regulated means to access existing maintained trails. Both Inyo and Sierra counties have existing trails, and no new infrastructure would be necessary in either county. Both counties rely extensively on tourism dollars and have robust ATV, OHV communities. Because the counties have such distinctly different terrains and stakeholders, we felt it would improve the value of data collected and give a fuller picture of the issue with the addition of Sierra in this project. Inyo County consists primarily of high desert. Less than 2% of its 10,000 square miles is privately owned land. Most of the land is part of the national park system and is not, I repeat, not part of this pilot project. Sierra County is a mountainous county consisting primarily of unpaved graded roads with highly integrated access to national forest trails. This pilot project can play an important role in projecting fragile, narrow forest trails and lands from trucks and trailers unloading ATV vehicles, because there will be better access to trails from existing parking lots that are closer to town. In addition, ATV or OHV drivers can use these trails for easier access to in-town goods and services. By having a linked trail system, law enforcement will have the tools to properly direct OHV users to approved routes rather than forcing them to police illegal activity. This bill would not only allow for just added time to evaluate the pilot project, but also do so in a more effective and meaningful way with the inclusion of Inyo and Sierra counties. At the end of the day, it is only through collaboration with the California Highway Patrol, the Department of Transportation, County Sheriff's Department, county supervisors, county road departments, and the Bureau of Land Management and U.S. Forest Service, as well as the public, will these routes be approved and then closely monitored and studied. This is true in both Inyo as well as Sierra County. Members, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce Supervisor Matt Kingsley from Inyo and Supervisor Lee Adams from Sierra County to testify in support. I also have Paul Smith with the RCRC for any technical questions. And I want to take this opportunity, Mr. Chairman, to thank your staff for working closely with us and trying to get to yes in this matter that's very important to my mountain counties. Thank you.
Thank you. Speakers in favor? Who are the county supervisors? Okay, you guys go ahead. Yeah, you could have a seat.
Right
Just-
here, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
If that's
And
the,
relax. How many supervisors we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 of us that used to be, including myself, we used to be supervisors.
well, great.
So go ahead,
If that's
Supervisor.
the only mistake I make is, I'll be pretty happy. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Chairman Bill, for giving us a chance to speak. My name's Matt Kingsley. I'm the 5th District Supervisor from Inyo County. And I was not on the board when this original bill was passed. I have only been on the board for the last 3.5 years. But this bill, when it passed, was really a grassroots effort from citizens of Inyo County who proposed the bill and then supported it and got their Senator Conway to pass it and give us a chance to try this concept. The bill was delayed in being enacted by about 4.5 years, or 3.5 years, and so we really have only gathered about 6 months of data because of legal action that delayed the enactment of the bill. But in the end, we had a really robust public dialogue on the bill with people for and against it, and the board compromised on 7 routes, and those are the 7 routes that we would like to continue in the extension. We expect a report on this bill, the same as we did on the original legislation. I don't believe that got included in the bill, but we have every expectation of doing the same kind of a report and could do more if we need to. And in closing, I'd just like to say that we have had no negative effects from the routes that we've so far enacted. We have 4 more that we're ready to implement soon. And to be fair to both the opponents and the supporters of the bill, I believe we need more time to gather more data and have a chance to see if it works.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Chairman Bell and members of the committee. My name is Lee Adams, and I'm currently the chair of the Sierra County Board of Supervisors and here to seek your support. We have monitored the pilot project in Inyo County over the past years and intended to seek likewise in Sierra County 4 years ago, but Inyo is better prepared than us. I would add that this bill has the unanimous support of the Sierra County Board of Supervisors. We are a county of just 3,000 within our 980 square miles. Sierra County is 70% National Forest System lands, and we do have the benefit of the U.S. Forest Service already authorizing some 1,200 miles of OHV routes within the county. Many of these trails and roadways are remnants from mining and logging activities, yet are separated from the communities and services by maintained county roads. Our proposal is to utilize limited county roads to provide services and connectivity to these national forest resources. We will not be building any new roads or trails, but just allow better access to services. While we see this as an economic gain for our struggling communities, it also allows the public to enjoy the scenery of their public lands for those unwilling or unable to access it any other way. I would add my primary career was the sheriff of Sierra County, a role I served in for 4.5 terms. In that role, I strictly enforced the provisions of the vehicle code as it currently is with respect to OHV use. Before you today, however, is the ability to grant dual use with all the safety mitigations otherwise required by present law, appropriate signage, sign off by CHP, limitation or use only by licensed drivers, and the setting of appropriate speed limits. We appreciate the support of both our assemblyman and our senator, and I'm certainly happy to answer any questions, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Next witness is other
Chair-
people in favor of this.
Mr. Chairman, members, Paul Smith with the Rural Counties Association, RCRC, in strong support of the bill. I think this is a wise but measured attempt to look at this policy both in those 2 counties. Thank you.
Okay, other supporters? Other supporters? Thank you very much, gentlemen. Can we have opponents, people that are opposed? Please come forward. Opponents or concerns?
Stick around.
Hello. Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Good afternoon, Chair and members. My name is Yana Vasquez. I'm here on Sierra Club on behalf of Sierra Club California, and unfortunately, we're opposing the measure as amended as March 28, 2016. As the support has indicated, this pilot program actually was in place this past year. We haven't really had any data for us to actually see if the extension is even viable or even justifiable at this point. Even currently, the pilot program, it's going to be expiring by 2017, and at this point, we don't even support the extension of the sunset, given that we don't really have reliable data. Until we really have a sense of the impacts that this extension is going to be actually given to off-highway vehicles, we really know if even extending it is going to actually be helpful or even expanding it to a different county within the Sierra County. So because of those reasons, we oppose, and how the staff analysis clearly outlines that we definitely need to get a sense of how this works before we even think about extending the sunset, but also extending it to a different county. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Senator Berryhill, we were working with you on amendments.
Yeah.
Want to request you accept the amendments of the committee?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, the amendments include requiring Inyo County issue a second report by January 1st, 2019. We're asking that it's premature for Sierra County. We give deference to Sierra County, but we think that it's premature at this time because we want to complete the study of Inyo County before we move on to Sierra County. Ask that this not be included in the bill. And then the third one was prohibiting continuous combinations of segments that exceed 10 miles in length. This would allow the Inyo County process to continue and the study to continue and have a report on an earlier report on January 1st, 2019. And are those acceptable?
Those are acceptable, and again, I want to thank your staff for working closely with us and making this all happen.
Thank you. Questions from committee members?
Yeah,
Anybody?
I've got
Senator Gaines.
questions as to why you cut my county out. Why'd you cut Sierra County out of the bill?
Sierra County, what's happening is this bill was originally introduced as an Inyo County bill, okay? It was introduced as a bill just in Inyo County. And in the bill, they said they want to do a study that would be forthcoming after they did the study, and that's what the county supervisor said from Inyo. It's premature to include another county at this time when the study hasn't been forthcoming. So it's not that we're against Inyo County. I think it's against it now before the study is presented. And I think the testimony opposing was pretty clear. But so it's on a policy basis, I think it's premature.
Well,
so that's the reason.
Okay.
Okay.
I disagree. Sierra County has 392 miles of roadway. It is 70% national forest land. I've got a lot of constituents there that could use those roads. We've got a lot of retired folks in the community who can't access many of the recreational benefits within the county without the use of a vehicle. And I just don't understand why you wouldn't be more even-handed in terms of this pilot program. It's a pilot program for which it would be then reported back, I'm assuming, to the legislature.
We will receive a report on January 1st, 2019. So that's when the report comes back of the impact of this in Inyo County. And then at that time, we can make our judgment.
Well,
You have the right to introduce a Sierra County bill or any other kinds of bill.
would you support it?
I would like to see the study before I make my decision.
So
I would like to see what the impact is.
2020 then.
Yeah, in January 2019.
Just to add to that, Senator, we try to make the argument, you know, all the mother lode counties, you can make the argument, could use the part of this bill. You know, the consensus at the end of the day was that that we would stay with Inyo County where it started, and they've got about 3 months of data to date, and it's just not enough to make any definitive conclusions. And so, you know, they decided that they'd let the bill through, but, you know, they wanted to wait and see what the conclusions were before they added additional counties. So it is what it is.
That says it's premature. It's not that we're against it, but it is premature until we finish the study. Okay? There's a motion for the bill as amended. Okay, Senator, would you like to close?
I'd ask for your aye vote, and thank you again for working with us on this bill.
We have a quorum, so excuse me, Senator, I'll wait until we call the quorum, and then we'll have a motion. So can we have a roll call, please?
Senators Bell?
Here.
Bell present. Cannella? Here. Cannella present. Allen? Bates? Bates present. Gaines? Galgiani? Galgiani present. Leyva? McGuire? Here. McGuire present. Mendoza? Mendoza present. Roth? Here. Roth present. Wachowski?
We have a quorum. Senator, you have a motion. We have a motion on the bill. Is there any further discussion? If not, can we call the roll, please?
Senators Bell?
Aye.
Bell, aye. Cannella? Aye. Cannella, aye. Allen? Bates? Bates, aye. Gaines? Gaines, aye. Galgiani? Galgiani, aye. Leyva? McGuire? Aye. McGuire, aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mendoza, aye. Roth? Aye. Roth, aye. Wachowski?
That bill has enough to get out, Senator, but we'll wait, leave the roll call open for other senators to cast their vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate it.
Let's see. Yeah. Who's here? Senator Morlock, looks like you're down on the list. Senator Morlock, you have the floor. Senator Morlock's here for item 7. This is SB 1141, I believe. Correct? Yeah. Senator, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Bell. Thank you, committee members. We can all agree that California has some of the most poorly maintained roads in the nation, and there are several reasons for this, which you're all aware. Since California is a creature that is managed more by legislative intent, I'm proposing that a pilot program be approved. It will allow counties to apply for the ability to operate, maintain, and make improvements to the state highway system within their county jurisdictions. The county will use the allotted funding and benefit from any cost savings that are generated for other transportation projects within the county. Changing jurisdictions was a common occurrence when I served as county supervisor. You already had that topic in your last bill. But we would take over the road for a city, and then we would do all the improvements, and at the conclusion of the project, when our Public Works Department was finished, we would then turn the road back over to the city. In the 1990s, Senator Quentin Kopp, with Senate Bill 45, also moved some responsibility to self-help counties. So it shows that innovation and cooperation are ideas that are possible. Instead of having Caltrans maintain a particular county's roads, we should shift it with the hope that the local jurisdictions will appropriate the funds in a more judicious manner with a lower local overhead expense ratio. Accordingly, this would free up funding for additional projects. This is the idea to make a dollar go further. It's that simple. For example, with the transfer of funding, the county can cost out what it will take them to manage their roads, determine if it can accomplish more than it would cost for Caltrans to do the tasks. It may involve hiring temporary crews or firms to do the work. It can also rent any equipment when needed. This is a voluntary opportunity. Once Senate Bill 1141 is approved, some counties may be motivated to sharpen their pencils. With serious budgeting, cost accounting, and production applications, they may calculate a cost savings percentage that would make applying worthwhile. In the private sector, firms spend a considerable amount of management time on developing bids for projects. I know it's a serious and deliberate process, and I think our counties are up to the task. With focused management, local control, and a clearer sense of the priorities that must be pursued for the region, we may find a more effective and efficient methodology for improving our roads. What then becomes of the existing staffing for Caltrans and for the selected county? Caltrans is facing a retiring workforce with 54% at or near retirement age. Normal attrition and relocating to neighboring jurisdictions would not be too difficult. Of course, this manpower management concern may be a factor in how counties are selected. The issues are simple. We're proposing to download just 1/29th of the responsibilities to see if a different management structure will provide better efficiencies and cost savings. Less than 3.5% shift is manageable for a pilot project. The only normal argument would be we've never done it this way before, and we won't know if it will be done until January 1, 2018, when perhaps a county or two have applied. In the private sector, alternative solutions to improve cost efficiencies are par for the course. SB 1141 is an opportunity to see if transportation maintenance can be provided in a better way. The best way to find out is to initiate a pilot project. Colleagues, I encourage and I vote. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I also want to report that the American Council of Engineering Companies is in support.
Thank you, Senator. Witnesses in favor of this proposal, please. Okay. Any speakers opposed to this measure, please come forward. Welcome your input. Have some speakers.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, Mr. Murlock, Senator Murlock. Tim Kremens, International Union of Operating Engineers. We are opposed. The most immediate reason, of course, is we represent the Caltrans maintenance workers. And in the proposal before you, there is no program or fleshed out process how to deal with a laid off workforce. And I think we would argue that would put Caltrans maintenance folks in absolute disarray. There are several rules in civil service, long held by, long fought for. One of them, of course, is mass layoff. And I think we'd put absolute disarray. On a transportation policy perspective, as you can well aware, there isn't another state asset that should have statewide continuity in the statewide highway system. We think it's, at best, not an idea that's been fleshed out yet to its full merits, and we respectfully oppose.
Mr. Chair, members, Steve Baker with Aaron Reed and Associates, representing the professional engineers in California government, the California Association of Highway Patrolmen, and the Orange County Employees Association, all of which are opposed to this measure. Contrary to Senator Morlock's assertion, the department, the engineering force anyway, one of the key things they do is put out plans for new construction. And for the last 10 years, they've done a project delivery report that shows that they've got a 98% on time, on budget record of delivering these plans. We agree with Mr. Kremens that this would be overly disruptive to the workforce. We don't understand why you'd want to lay off thousands of people and put them into counties and then have to hire them back on when the pilot project is over. And just from the kind of nuts and bolts of the way the bill is drafted, it has the potential of having, you know, Sacramento County taking over highway maintenance on Highway 50 and Highway 80 and snow plowing and everything else that entails. And I'm not sure that those counties are capable of taking on that large of a project. And for all of those reasons and more, we're opposed to the measure.
Other speakers against? Okay, questions from the committee? Maybe Senator Morlock, you could respond to some of the concerns.
I think the biggest concern is layoffs.
Yes.
And as I stated in my remarks, Caltrans does have an aging workforce, so I could see that no layoffs should be necessary. You just use attrition. And I never said layoff anyone. I said relocate to other jurisdictions. So I don't see that as a major concern.
One of the concerns I have is that, how would you put it? If we give a county a block grant and their salary labor negotiations for that county are not under our control, but then the cost goes up, the county would perhaps have less staff to do the proper amount of work to maintain the roads in an adequate condition. We lose control over the labor cost in that case. So that's a concern perhaps you can address.
Well, there are two thoughts, Mr. Chair. One is that the county and its either Public Works Department or its Transportation Authority, like say Orange County has its own department, they would sit down and look at all the components. You've got to cost it all out. If it isn't worth at the end of the day, if it isn't worth it, you're not going to apply. Two, I don't want to be too cynical that the unions are going to, in a sense, take advantage of the situation and then therefore kill their own deal. I would see them as being very cooperative on an opportunity that puts more money into roads in the county, and the leadership of that county knows where the real needs are. So I think it's a win-win for both.
Okay, some of the counties are in high-cost areas, whereas correct me if I'm wrong, I think the Caltrans salaries are the same everywhere in the state. So one of the concerns might be that the salaries for the same person at the county would be more costly than a Caltrans worker. So there'd be a tendency in this bill to only have it apply to what I call maybe lower cost areas. Is that your intention?
Well, my intention is that the county that's willing to take the initiative and say, hey, we can do this more efficiently, more effectively, and with the resulting savings, we can put that into more improvements to our roads. That would be the primary focus for applying. This is a way to say, let's get more money into our roads. We're looking for solutions. The only one can't just be, let's tax everybody more. We should be looking for efficiencies and how to manage our infrastructure better. And this is just an opportunity to see if that idea actually is of value.
Okay. All right. Okay. Other questions from anybody else? Okay. Do we have a motion on this bill? Okay, there's a motion. Senator, would you like to close?
Thank you, Chairman Bell. You and I share a real burden for the transportation needs of the state. And I just want to thank you for the privilege of submitting an idea that I think would be encouraging to our residents and our taxpayers that we're looking at ideas to try to improve the situation, and that taxation increases are not the only solutions for our voters. So I urge a aye vote. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Senator, I think it's an idea that's interesting. I have those concerns I raised. So I would say at this time, I'm not willing to move forward with the pilot that you suggest. However, I want to continue to discuss cost savings and other ways to save money and make the performance of our Caltrans and our road maintenance system improved over time. I think we have to do that. And I'm willing to have that dialogue with you and anybody else that wants to talk about that subject. So,
well, I know you have a desire to improve cost efficiencies by 30%. So at least in this opportunity, you have a model where you can try and measure and make sure that that works. So it's, we are kindred spirits in that regard, Mr. Chair.
okay, thank you. We'll call the roll. There's only 3 people. 4.
The motion is do pass and re-refer to the Committee on Appropriations. Senators Bell?
No, sorry. No.
Bell, no. Cannella? Allen? Bates? Bates, aye. Gaines? Gaines, aye. Galgiani? Leyva? McGuire? McGuire, no. Mendoza? Mendoza, no. Roth? Witkowski?
Thank you, Senator. Senator, we'll leave the roll open for other members to cast their vote. Thank you for your presentation.
Mr. Chair, thank you, committee.
Who's next?